Alford signed up for the Ball circus. It is probably true that LiAngelo Ball leaving UCLA is, as many put it, a blessing in disguise for the Bruins and head coach Steve Alford. LiAngelo Ball is not anything close to a one-and-done talent and was probably not going to be much of a factor on the court as a freshman, and he was never planning to stay long enough to develop. It's been clear all along that Alford agreed to take him to secure Lonzo, already gone to the NBA after one season, and LaMelo, the youngest of LaVar's sons and another pro prospect. Now it seems almost certain that LaMelo will never even bother trying to play college ball because 1. The NCAA isn't exactly hip to players having their own signature shoe, no capitalizing commercially off your own name or abilities, and 2. LaVar, for all his faults, has adeptly deciphered that he doesn't need the NCAA and its arcane rules, or UCLA or Alford or any college team at all. At the risk of praising a madman, because truly LaVar Ball is one, and portraying a person as nuanced and complicated and flawed but also somewhat redeemed, you aren't supposed to do that on the internet. It seems possible at this point that LaVar had a master plan this whole time. A good one. He correctly calculated that Lonzo would be good enough to grab enough of the spotlight in one season. And that LaVar himself would be, like the president he has sparred with, precisely the sort of pompous and unhinged showman that for whatever reason speaks to people in this current, and hopefully fleeting, moment. Now LaVar Ball lives in a giant mansion and heads a fledgling brand that might not return to his family the guaranteed money Nike and Adidas were offering but could be worth significantly more if Lonzo delivers on his promise. Not a bad place to be sitting. Which brings us to Steve Alford, the man who received this blessing. Taking Lonzo and dealing with the LaVar sideshow was, on its face, worth it. The Bruins went 31-5 last year, a drastic improvement from 15-17 the year before, and were number 8 in the final poll, by far the best of Alford's tenure. They lost to Kentucky in the Sweet 16 but thanks to Lonzo had one of the most exciting offenses in the country. That's a good thing for a coach to sell to recruits. But now Alford is stuck firmly in the LaVar news cycle, with the elder Ball blaming the coach for allowing LiAngelo and other players to go shopping unsupervised in China, upon which 3 of them shoplifted and created an international incident. And that's just what we've seen publicly. Alford maintained that LaVar wasn't a distraction, but it's nearly impossible to believe that Alford didn't spend considerable time last year dealing with LaVar privately. LaVar is currently speaking out against the Lakers coaches. Surely he tried to exert pressure on the college coach who needed Lonzo as much as Lonzo and LaVar needed a platform, if not more so. Yet Alford put up with all of it, and made this deal in the first place. Any reasonable human, let alone one who has been recruiting star athletes and their over-involved handlers for decades, should have immediately saw LaVar as too heavy a price to pay for even a talent like Lonzo. Especially at UCLA. A true blue blood program that should be capable of luring the 3 or 4 high-end recruits it needs each season without acquiescing to the likes of LaVar Ball. Now the Bruins, ranked 23rd in the USA Today Sports men's basketball coaches poll, sit at 7-1. They lost to Creighton, and needed overtime to handle Central Arkansas at Pauley Pavilion. Games at Michigan, home against Cincinnati and in New Orleans against Kentucky loom before Christmas, at which point we should know whether Alford's 5th UCLA team can build on its brush with the Ball family. It better. Alford voluntarily gave up 1 year on his contract but then earned it back last season, and is signed through the 2021 season. The last thing he wants is to allow anyone to believe that the only way he can consistently compete at the national title level at a school with the history and resources of UCLA is by making a deal with the likes of LaVar Ball. More, LaVar Ball responds to scouts who say LiAngelo Ball isn't good enough for the NBA. Tanya Harding posed with Margot Robbie, Allison Janney at Tanya Premier Tara Lowens quits the challenge after dramatic confrontation with CT Adrian Wojnarowski crushed LiAngelo Ball's one-and-done NBA hopes in a brutal tweet. Week 14 fantasy football studs, duds and sleepers. Can Josh Gordon win new a playoff game?